So suppose we have a right triangle. A right triangle meaning that one of the angles is a right angle, being 90 degrees. And we have some angle. Let's call this angle right here C. Right? This angle right here. It could be this one, but in this case it's going to be right there. If we take the sine or cosine of this angle, all that means is we're finding the ratio between the sides. So let's say, like, if this is obviously the opposite side, opposite from that angle, and then this one's going to be our adjacent side because it's adjacent to that angle. And then the side directly across from the right angle, that side is going to be our hypotenuse, meaning the longest side. So when we have our sine of angle C, that is going to be our opposite side length divided by the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse. Furthermore, if we have the cosine of angle C, that is going to be the adjacent side length over the hypotenuse. Now, like I said earlier, when we have sine squared of any value, in this case C, the sine squared of this angle C, plus the cosine squared of our value C, it's going to always equal to 1. Now what this means is that we have any side length of any right triangle, any set of side lengths, right? We have the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. These are side lengths, right? So quantity squared plus the adjacent. Pretend I didn't just F that up. Divided by the hypotenuse. Quantity squared. This will always equal to 1. Now that yeah, you could try that out, test it out if you want. But for any right triangle, this will be true. If you have the opposite, the hypotenuse, and the adjacent side lengths, you could add the ratios, the square of these ratios together, and you will get 1 as your sum. Furthermore, if we rewrite this, sine squared of C plus cosine squared of C equaling 1, we divide everything here by cosine squared of C, dividing each of these terms by cosine squared of C. That will then give us sine divided by cosine is tangent. So sine squared of C divided by cosine squared of C, that's going to give us tangent squared of C. Plus cosine squared of C divided by cosine squared of C. Anything divided by itself is 1, believe it or not. Now 1 divided by cosine squared of C, believe it or not, that is what we call secant squared of C. Okay. Now, this is only called C because we defined our angle right there to be C. Right? We called that angle C, so that's what it's being represented throughout these various formulas and whatnot. So, when you have some freaking prankster saying, I don't know, what was it, like 1 plus? Right, if you have someone saying, if you have some prankster with this on their t-shirt, it says, I'm 1 plus tangent squared of C, quantity square root, right, whatever, and I know it, this really means, this right here is this. So, this then becomes a square root of secant of C, quantity squared, right? The square root and that exponent cancel out, giving us just secant of C. Meaning, I'm sec C and I know it. Freaking hilarious. QED. Thank you.